Please subscribe.
Diagram not at all like other reduced extravagance hybrids that fall in line among extravagance and energetic. The 2020 Acura RDX tells everybody it's the last mentioned. Outwardly, its precise bodywork and striking front end stand apart contrasted and subtler options. Its accurate identification comes up short on the reserve of opponents, for example, Audi and BMW. However, the RDX offers similar form quality at a lower cost. Accessible with a wealth of attractive highlights and a unique all-wheel drive framework, this two-push hybrid will fulfill most SUV customers. While the Acura's little turbocharged motor doesn't convey stunning speeding up, it's responsive and chatty when nudged. We can look past its flighty brake pedal input and awkward program transmission on account of sharp guiding and other fun-loving driving qualities. What's happening for 2020? Since the RDX was totally upgraded for 2019, Acura just rolls out a solitary improvement to its top-of-the-line model for 2020. The RDX's strong sheet metal would now be able to be covered in an all-new outside paint shading called platinum white. The remainder of the energetic hybrid persists precisely equivalent to a year ago. Valuing and which one to buy: RDX, $38,595, RDX A-Spec, $44,795. The 2020 RDX is basically a solitary model that can be furnished with a few unmistakable bundles. Front-wheel drive is standard, yet all-wheel drive is accessible for $2,000. The most unmistakable RDX models have the A-Spec bundle, which includes select redesigns all around, for example, 20-inch haggles and side accents. While these visual upgrades look cool, the A-Spec arrangement is expensive and comes up short on any authentic presentation enhancements. Rather, we'd suggest including the technology bundle that brings a superior sound framework, worked-in root, fancier calfskin cut seats, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. It additionally incorporates front and back stopping sensors, just as vulnerable side observing with back cross-traffic alert. The individuals who need a definitive choices, for example, versatile dampers and a head-up showcase, should jump on the $4,900 advanced bundle, which expenses $8,100 all out on the grounds that it expects you to likewise include the $3,200 technology bundle. Motor, transmission, and performance preferences: effortless increasing speed. Default drive mode can be set to sport. All-wheel drive improves physicality. Of versions, A-Spec bundle is for the most part restorative, programmed has lethargic gear changes, unpredictable brake pedal input. Each RDX is controlled by a 272 horsepower turbocharged 2.0-liter 4-chamber that sets with a 10-speed programmed transmission and either front or all-wheel drive, aka SHWD. The A-Spec variant we tried had a responsive gas pedal at low speeds, and it pulled away from stoplights with power. It likewise sped from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.6 seconds at our test track. Notwithstanding, the speed and pedal reaction were less recognizable at interstate paces, where the RDX required 5.2 seconds to get from 50 miles per hour to 70. The transmission could be snappier to downshift with brief gas pedal sources of info, particularly when utilizing the controlling wheel-mounted or shifters. We favored the transmission's conduct with the S mode chose so the transmission holds outfits longer and downshift speedier. The turbocharged motor made the RDX sound increasingly like the NSX, with its sharp thunder during hard speeding up that is falsely channeled into the lodge through the sound framework's speakers. The RDX we drove had huge 20-inch wheels that are incorporated with the A-Spec bundle. It likewise had the standard suspension arrangement, in contrast to models with the advanced bundle, which includes versatile dampers that give flexible ride quality. While our test vehicle neglected to confine the lodge from brutal effects on the harshest streets, it was never rebuffing or uproarious. The torque vectoring SHWD additionally helped it change headings rapidly and was upheld by exact inclination directing. The RDX possibly inclined when we assaulted an interstate entrance ramp, yet else, It was superbly adjusted for the individuals who appreciate driving rapidly. Shockingly, the brake pedal decreased the experience, because of its conflicting immovability and responsiveness. Efficiency and real-world MPG. The RDX has aggressive EPA efficiency appraisals that approach the mid-20s, with front-drive models getting marginally higher city and thruway gauges. The front-drive rendition is appraised at 22 miles per gallon city and 28 parkway, yet both those numbers drop by 1 mile per gallon with all-wheel drive. Moreover, the A-Spec bundle decreases every one of those EPA roadway appraises by another 1 mile per gallon. We tried a 2019 RDX with the A-Spec bundle and SHWD on our 200-mile roadway mileage course and accomplished 25 miles per gallon, which missed its EPA-evaluated 26 miles per gallon expressway by only 1 mile per gallon. Inside, infotainment, and cargo preferences, likable driving position, no lack of standard highlights, adequate gear space. Abhorrences, interior neglects to feel extraordinary, finicky touchpad controller, constrained little thing stockpiling. Inside, the RDX's even a dashboard makes a private space for front-situate travelers. The structure is overwhelmed by a rotational drive mode selector that streams into a skimming focus reassure. Our test vehicle had the A-Spec bundle's garish red seats and a few other selective styling bits. While the Lodge's eminent form quality and alluring standard highlights, encompassing lighting, control customizable and warmed front seats, double-zone atmosphere control, were valued, the RDX neglects to feel rich. Rather, the Acura conveys a sportier encounter than, state, the CR-V would ever give. Nothing feels shabby or cheap, and the driving position is sufficiently high to fulfill hybrid fans and adaptable enough to conciliate driving fans. Each RDX has a 10.2-inch touchscreen that is roosted high on the dashboard and can be worked by means of a touchpad that sits easily where the driver's correct hand lays on the inside reassure. Acura calls the controller natural, however it was some time before we got familiar with it. In any event, we were blessed to receive numerous standard highlights, for example, Apple CarPlay and a 4G LTE versatile hotspot. Shockingly, the Android-based infotainment framework right now doesn't bolster Android Auto. Nonetheless, Acura claims it will in the long run be accessible. The discretionary technology bundle includes worked-in-route, backseat USB ports, a 12-speaker ELS Studio sound framework, and that's just the beginning. The RDX's rearward sitting arrangements effectively crease level through an idea about the upper detachable side of the seats or from discharge handles in the load zone. We figured out how to fit 8 lightweight suitcases with the seats up, and 22 with them collapsed. While the RDX has an enormous stockpiling plate underneath its drifting focus reassure, the main other valuable stockpiling plate is close by the cup holders in the inside comfort. Well-being and driver assistance features. The 2019 RDX was named a top safety pick plus by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, which is the autonomous accident test organization's most elevated respect. In like manner, the 2020 RDX earned an ideal 5-star rating from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Each model incorporates a large group of standard driver help innovation. However, a few different helps are accessible with the technology bundle. These incorporate front and back stopping sensors, vulnerable side checking, and back cross-traffic alert. Guarantee and maintenance coverage. Acura covers the RDX with a guarantee plan that lines up with its extravagance rivals. Nonetheless, it does exclude complimentary planned upkeep as do a few adversaries, for example, the X3 and the Jaguar F-Pace.